What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Bitcoin Daily Show. I'm Dante Cook with Swan.com. With Bitcoin hitting an all-time high this week and the bull market officially underway, we're seeing a lot of hot takes out there on what Bitcoin is and what Bitcoin isn't. Bitcoin is a roller coaster, a cockroach, worth less than a banana or a baseball card, a hyped-up fraud, worse than a Ponzi scheme, an insurrection, and the most famous of them all, Bitcoin is dead. Bitcoin is for everyone. And so the beautiful thing about Bitcoin is that no matter what you call it, Bitcoin is just Bitcoin. So we wanted to do a fun blend of our daily episode where we talk about the facts and the numbers and the information and just simply talk about all the different things that people say Bitcoin is. And then at the end, we want to hear from you. What is Bitcoin to you? If you're enjoying these daily videos, join Swan's mission on educating the world about Bitcoin. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment with your thoughts. And as always, if you have questions about Bitcoin, send me an email at daily@swanbitcoin.com and I personally will respond. Let's get into the episode. Our first clip of the day, coming fresh off the press this morning, was SEC Chairman Gary Gensler saying that Bitcoin is a roller coaster.
This is a highly speculative asset class. One could just look at the volatility of Bitcoin in the last few days. And look, I grew up loving roller coasters. Maybe in my adult years, I don't ride them as much, but you really should be conscious as the investing public that this is a bit of a roller coaster ride on these volatile assets. And then the question is how firm is the foundation of the, you get to the top of that hill, how's the foundation underneath it?
Gary fails to mention one important thing. Roller coasters start and end in the same spot. Bitcoin started worth nothing and is now worth $1.3 trillion and is up over 10,000% the last decade. That seems like a roller coaster ride that only goes up to the moon. Our next claim about Bitcoin comes from The Economist, claiming that Bitcoin is a cockroach. Bitcoin has been in existence for 14 years. The elegant mechanism by which it validates itself and supply grows. Wait, did anybody edit this? Isn't this The Economist? Has never been hacked, meaning that the token is not going anywhere. Yet it is now obvious that it is of pretty limited use for payments, as it is restricted by both the high cost and slow speed of transactions. Those trying to build applications on top of blockchains are not doing so using Bitcoin either. With the creation of ETFs, it is now clear that Bitcoin is an investment asset and nothing more. So after this initial surge of interest, what will its returns look like? Here's a throwback but a classic from Mark Cuban. Bitcoin is worth less than baseball cards and bananas?
Here's the thing about crypto, particularly Bitcoin. Bitcoin is worth what somebody will pay for it. Did you ever see someone who collected baseball cards and they were really, really, really proud of their baseball cards because they kept on saying they were going to go up in price? There's no real intrinsic value. You can't eat a baseball card or shouldn't eat a baseball card. Bitcoin, there's even less you can do with it. At least I can look at my baseball card and go, ooh, that's my favorite player. That's Roberto Clemente. Do you put it in a device? Do you print it out? How do you keep from being hacked? Who's going to host it for you? It's just so difficult that it's only worth what somebody will pay for. I'd rather have bananas. I can eat bananas. Crypto, not so much. Look, I can make a great argument for blockchain. There's a lot of applications and they'll be used, but you don't need public Bitcoin, BTC. You can create blockchain on your own without using all the available cryptocurrencies.
Representing Wall Street himself, Jamie Dimon says that Bitcoin is nothing more than a hyped up fraud, a pet rock.
Because you just think the whole thing just is
going to zero?
Going to zero and it's fake?
Bitcoin itself is a hyped up fraud. It's a pet rock. You're back to that? Yeah, really? Of course, yeah.
This article that just dropped this morning claims that Bitcoin is not just a Ponzi scheme. It's worse than a Ponzi scheme. It's an insurrection. Bitcoin will probably crash again, but it is neither a Ponzi scheme nor a bubble. It's something far worse. It's an inherently secure, tightly controlled asset with a regulated supply, and is therefore a subversion to the whole basis of free market financial capitalism. Listen. There's actually some elements of truth to this article that I don't think this guy really intended to say when he was trying to bash Bitcoin. Let me get back to the most poignant and final sentence here. Ponzi's and bubbles are a normal part of the system that allow regulators to tighten their largely ineffective control. But a security that regulates itself, that's an insurrection. Do these people even do their homework? Bitcoin is not a security, it's a commodity. But I digress. The most famous of them all, Bitcoin is dead. It's died 476 times already and keeps resurrecting itself. It was claimed dead for the first time in 2010 by Jordan Tewiner, and most recently by the European Central Bank on February 22nd of just this year. I'll let you decide whether you believe any of that is true or not. But let me show you the other side of the coin and what people who have done their research and their homework on Bitcoin have to say about it. Larry Lepard says that Bitcoin is the most asymmetric bet that he's seen in his 40-year investing career.
In your entire career, I don't know how long that's been, but you've never seen
it's friggin' believable. It almost sounds too good to be true, and it would be too good to be true if it wasn't the case that it was a technical invention. I mean, I'm sure if you had spoken to somebody in America in 1890 and told them, in 30 or 40 years, you're going to be able to get on an airplane and go from New York to LA in 4.5 hours in a jet. Yeah. They'd have said, you're out of your mind. That's too good to be true. There's absolutely zero possibility of that, right?
Robert Kiyosaki says Bitcoin is on fire. Jack Mahler says that Bitcoin is stuck in time.
Gold is stuck in the ground. Bitcoin is stuck in time. Do you guys understand how mind-boggling that is?
And he says that Bitcoin is safe in your brain and not in your butt.
So now I got to take another shot at gold bugs. Gold is stuck in your butt. Bitcoin is safe in your brain. All right?
I know I'm a grown man, but I don't know why I'm still laughing about that clip of the whole butt thing. Tom Lee from Fundstrat said that Bitcoin is going much higher this year.
I think it's, could be as high as 150,000 this year.
Michael Saylor says that Bitcoin is backed by more than 400 exahash of digital power, or more power than the U.S. Navy.
The thing that backs Bitcoin is 400 exahash of digital power. To put that in perspective, that's as much power, energy, as the entire U.S. Navy uses in its fleet.
Fellow Swan Thomas Strolight says that Bitcoin is love. Adam Denver says Bitcoin is like golf. Bitcoin is being adopted by students in El Salvador. It also is liberating El Salvador from the shackles of the IMF. Bitcoin is making all-time highs against currencies all around the world. Bitcoin is back above $67,000 per coin. Bitcoin is misunderstood like email back in 1994.
Oh, that's that little mark with the A and then the ring around it?
At?
See, that's what I said. Katie said she thought it was about.
Yeah. Oh.
But I'd never heard it. I'd never heard it said. I'd always seen the mark, but never heard it said. And then it sounded stupid when I said it. Violence at NBC.
I heard something big fight up in the lunchroom the other week.
There it is. Violence at NBC, GE.com. I mean...
Well, Allison should know.
What is Internet anyway?
Internet is that
massive computer network.
The one that's becoming really big now.
What do you mean? That's big. How does one? What do you write to it like mail?
No, a lot of people use it and communicate. I guess they can communicate with NBC writers and producers. Allison, can you explain what internet is?
No, she can't say anything in 10 seconds or less.
Oh, Allison will be in the studio shortly.
What
does it mean?
It's a giant computer network made up of started from.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell us what this was.
It's like a computer billboard.
It's not in it. It's a computer billboard, but it's nationwide, and it's several universities and everything all joined together.
And
and others can access it.
And it's getting bigger and bigger all the time.
Or like the internet in 1995.
And what about this internet thing? Do you know anything about that?
Sure.
What the hell is that exactly?
Well, it's become a place where people are publishing information.
Right.
So everybody can have their own homepage. Companies are there, the latest information. It's wild what's going on. You can send electronic mail to people. It is the big new thing.
Yeah, but you know, it's easy to criticize something you don't fully understand, which is my position here.
Go ahead.
But I can remember a couple of months ago, there was like a big breakthrough announcement that on the internet or on some computer deal, they were going to broadcast a baseball game. You could listen to a baseball game on your computer. And I just thought to myself, does radio ring a bell? You know what I
mean? Bitcoin is making housing affordable for everyday Americans like you and me. Bitcoin is good for your portfolio return. We ran the numbers. And a 10% allocation to Bitcoin increases the Sharpe ratio, or the risk-adjusted return, and the portfolio return performance by nearly 100% in every portfolio that we analyzed. If If you don't believe me, check the link in the show notes. Bitcoin is freedom money, and Bitcoin is liberating millions of people around the globe from fiat debasement. Bitcoin is the best savings technology ever created, and Bitcoin is turning baseball card and banana boys like Mark Cuban into Bitcoin bulls.
Bitcoin is just driven by supply and demand. There's only going to be 21 million of them. The more people that buy and the fewer people that sell, that means the price is going to go up. That's just the nature of it. It's a great store of value. That's why I have an investment in it, you know, because I do feel that the demand is going to exceed the number of people selling.
Bitcoin is something that you bash when you don't understand it. You write it off, you're skeptical because you didn't get into it and you think that you're late to the game. So your natural response is to hate on it or to make comments about it, even comments when you don't fully understand it. But Bitcoin is something that will change your mind once you've taken time to study it. And I'm genuinely curious, what is Bitcoin to you? Tell us in the comments or reply back. And with that, we're signing off for today. I'm Dante Cook with Swan.com. Subscribe to the channel if you like this content and these videos. And as always, if you have questions, send me an email at daily@swanbitcoin.com and I'll respond personally. Happy stacking.